Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us on another episode of Breakfast At. Today is unique for me. I get the remarkable opportunity after so many years of finding myself and taking time to dive into me as a person to sit and have my parents as guests on this podcast. This is a milestone in so many ways. I'm excited about it, to be able to meet them at a new place in my life where I have done a lot of work for myself to find out me and understand who I am. And now I get to bring that new sense of self to the table with my parents and dive into them and explore where they've come from, where they are now, and some of the developments that they have gone through in their life to help them find themselves in their own ventures. So, hang tight with us. It's gonna be a fun one. Thank you guys for joining me on this. Like I said, this is crazy in a way. I'm super excited. I'm still giddy right now. But having you guys here is remarkable for a couple of reasons. One, I moved away to find myself. I moved to the Midwest to find out who I was, where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. And, Pops, you had always said, you can always reinvent yourself. And I think that until I moved here and recognized what that was, I didn't know and understand what you meant when you said that. And now that I've been here, I'm recognizing the truth in that. Where would you say that you had found that sense of realization, where finding yourself was the thing?
Wow. I had my struggles probably through the 20s of, being battle between being an athlete and then being a person or the family guy,
right,
of developing, relationships beyond athleticism.
Yeah.
So it was a crossover, obviously.
Sure.
Because all I'm thinking about is next meal, protein, or exercise, where I'm going, how far I'm going to go, if I'm going to go anywhere, or I'm just backing off and cutting ties, which I eventually did at a certain time, and then relationships, building family from there, as where I thought I'm supposed to be.
Right.
So that was my crossover at that time, as far as a person. I didn't. As far as work goes, that's completely different. I just kind of fell into it. I wasn't planning on being where I am or what my profession is today. That was just a fall-in thing. I didn't go to school for that. Wasn't on my radar at all, and I just kind of fell into where I am as far as that goes. And I just built and created from ground and scratch from that. So
continue to find and do the thing, push through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mom, what would you say you have found yourself in your development and reinventing? Would you say that you found any reinventing of yourself, any new experiences or challenges that you have found as of now that challenge your old ways or old perspectives of self?
Well, you're talking to me, a person who retired from singing and now coming back. So reinventing, definitely, because there's an expectation for a female singer on stage.
Yeah.
Age, look, blah blah blah. But so reinventing would really mean for me right now that I'm going to give me and just get out there and do what I do. Mentally, not letting that affect me. So that would be reinventing, because normally I'd let that, but just go for it. And it's been good so far. So, it's been good. So just going for it and mentally not letting those challenges get in the way of doing what I want to do.
Right.
Until I can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I usually start the podcast very different, so I'm going to start the question as my second question. What is a meal that you could describe that reminds you of home? Pops, we'll start with you.
Wow. I would just say spaghetti.
Okay.
I don't why, I don't know. It just seems as simple, but when you walk in the house sometimes and you smell the pasta or the sauce, it's bring you home.
Yes.
It's a bring home smell. Makes it simple, makes it easy. Everybody likes it. It's good around the table.
Yeah.
It's quick and easy, simple. Bring the family together, kind of thing. So.
Okay. Mom, what about you?
Well, when you say home, to be honest, if I get a mortadella sandwich, anything like that, that really brings me home in that where I was raised. Because I live at home here, right? I live with family, what have you. But whenever I get that pizza margherita, right? Something like that actually makes me feel home in that, the memories of growing up in a place that I really love and miss and, enjoy. So it would be more of like, it would be that Italian sandwich or a pizza margherita.
I think it's funny that if I look at the things that remind me of home, and now that I have the opportunity to share mine with this, because I've not, but I've always been interested in asking, because for me, the smell of sautéed tomatoes and garlic is the scent that will remind me of grandma, that will remind me of home. It will always be that smell that it's immediate. As soon as I smell it, I'm like, oh my God, this is the best smell ever. And I love that. And that has always been the thing, and a lot of why breakfast is such a big, predominant part, a meal for me. One, the Saturday morning pancakes, showing up at grandma's house and having the flauta or, the tortilla española as she would make it. Those ingredients, those pieces that made breakfast to me so enjoyable. But then the smells, the memories, those things that, chorizo. I mean, it's amazing the smells that I look back on that were so predominant in my youth. That remind me of home. So we'll dive in to a little bit more of the roots and identity. We're going to get into it now. What parts of your childhood shaped who you are today, and how have those roots shown up in your parenting and grandparenting? And I figure these questions will just be a mixed bag. Both of you guys can answer your points and your thoughts on the question.
What was the question again? In that, I just want to make sure I understand.
Yep. What parts of your childhood shaped who you are today, and how have those roots shown up in your parenting and grandparenting?
Well, for me, it's simple. It would be the discipline part. That's the one that, in our house, unfortunately, whatever the wording would be, that was pretty much a military brat, disciplined, oldest, so had the most discipline, manners, all of that, which to me makes how you deal with other humans. And I think that came into play with regards to how I would raise my kids. Discipline, making sure that they're aware of other people around them. Roots, it's kind of hard to say because, again, military brat, and there's a lot that went on in between that. So to try to say roots, it's kind of hard because I don't know that I have tradition or standards that I would normally do other than Christmas. So what I remembered how my parents did Christmas, and I wanted to do that with you guys. Making sure we did everything the night before. Okay, I hope nobody, kids see this, but helping Santa the night before so you guys could wake up whatever time, and even if it was 3 in the morning, it didn't matter to go and open up the gifts, and go and do that kind of thing. So that would be something maybe roots wise, and discipline though. Teaching discipline.
Pops?
My roots are different. We're going to go to yin and yang. So as much as discipline that she had, Ours was more games or family orientation of having fun. And as we've always said, I'm Disneyland Dad. Okay, so pillow fights, building tents in the living room, going out and being the best that you can be at whatever it is, whatever, your skill sets are going to drive you, and I'll let you fall, I'll let you, break an arm or a leg or get stitches or whatever it is.
Once you get hurt, yep.
It's okay. Yep. It's part of, a different animal, and I would allow you guys to do a lot of, what you do. It's kind of, as I explained to you the other day, my dad, when we would, as a family, go out to the desert, he would throw gasoline out on the dirt out there and allow us to ride motorcycles over the flames of the gasoline.
Oh, that's wild.
So
definitely yin yang.
Yeah,
Definitely
no,
yin
that's
yang.
for sure. Oh man.
So I try to have. I look at things as more fun and structured versus structured. Structured first, versus fun first.
Right. Right.
So I'm different in that aspect.
Use the fun and the experience of the fun to create the structure.
Yes,
or hone the structure, if anything else.
I do my best to look at things on a more fun level than a structured level, for sure.
Understood.
So,
What was one lesson from your upbringing you tried to pass on, and one you intentionally left behind?
wow, boy.
We ask the hard questions here.
Yes, you do. One that I took with me and one that I left behind.
One that you took with you, and one that you had intentionally left behind.
Are you ready? I don't even know if I'm ready for that question.
Nope, probably, yep.
I mean,
whatever degree you can.
I mean, I guess again, mine is. Well, I mean, you would be better to answer that question regarding that, but I would think it's almost by nature, just by how I was raised. Again, it's discipline. It's manners, how you speak to adults, that kind of thing. Left behind?
Yeah.
There's a lot I left behind.
One significant one that you could describe that you feel was substantial.
Perhaps when I say discipline, perhaps the physical portion of discipline, left behind, because I really wasn't. That's not what I wanted to do with my children. So I'd rather communicate. Maybe that was something I said I'd never do that. That's not what I would ever do with my kids.
Right.
Type deal. I mean, have I? Sure. Have I had to grab an ear? Or smack a thigh? Yes, but the main, the discipline like that.
Yeah.
I did leave that behind because I was like, I'm not doing that to my kids. So I guess that would be.
And I will say, at least in this regard, I think we've had that conversation where you've talked about some of the, and dare I use the term, but what would be perceived as abusive nature in your upbringing, and some of the feelings that you had expressed that came from that, and the want to not have that brought into an environment with the kids that you were raising, because that's not something that you saw as useful or helpful. And I mean, yes, right, when we get out of line, the ear pull, which I mean,
no problem squeezing your arm.
Yeah, and I won't. Admittedly, if there was a way in which I think anybody could have probably addressed the thing without making it too much of without making it too, that I think was probably one of the more subtle directions. I think it was, because again, how do you keep the attention of a child who's either stepping out of line or at least doing something that is, hey, I already asked you not to do that, or how do you do it without one overtly embarrassing the kid, but also causing harm? And it's, hey, little attention real quick, hey, told you not to do that, blah blah. I will say the only trauma I ever suffered from that was just my ears growing.
Your earlobes. I have to, if I may share, the one time though you were taller than me, for sure.
Fair.
High school.
Yeah.
And I remember you trying to get real lippy, really trying to, and you were in the car, and I turned around, and I was like, whatever, and then I turned around and I just punched you in your thigh. And you said, Mom, you punched me in the thigh. And I said, well, you're too big to spank. Don't you ever talk to me like that. And that's how little and rare that I ever did hands, because I really went, that was my little fist.
And I deserved
it
too.
You punched me in the thigh. I said, well, you're too big to spank. But yeah, and you were a teen. But that's rare, like that was, but earlobe pulling because you were tall.
Yeah.
Come here, what'd you say to me?
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the one I left behind. And the one to keep was just really, truly, whatever you do, I can back you up with an adult anytime, but the minute you open your mouth, so that would do it. If the minute you open your mouth to an adult and try to be disrespectful, then I cannot back you up, because then you pass that line. So that would be, I guess, again, somehow it goes right back to discipline. That seems to be what my life was when I was raised. I was the oldest, and so I got the brunt end of the discipline portion. So yeah, sorry if that's the theme.
No, you're okay.
For me.
What about you?
For me, take with tradition of, things that you borrow or from friends or family, is to return at same or better. Like, the old thing was like a car. If I borrow parents' car or brother's car or family car, when I return the car, I'm putting more gas into the car when I found it. Maybe I clean it up a little into a better state than when I took it. Something like that, and that just kind of expands out to always, being more thoughtful of the other side. As far as letting go of things, what I left behind, I don't know if I've left anything behind. Still disciplined. As far as discipline with you guys, like I said, I was pretty open. When you guys stepped out of line, did I get yes? We used the belt sometimes not. Sometimes, it was anger, and I would go, okay, you guys, let's go outside and we're going to do something, versus, being punished. The restrictions, we always did the restrictions. That was, you're off. So, it's hard to say that I don't know if I've left any of that behind, because that wasn't. Maybe I thought it was all in line, and I thought that's the way it's supposed to be. So I didn't really leave much of that behind. I didn't think it was too out of character.
Okay. When you use the term leaving things better than when you found them,
yes,
that had been something that up until, again, like probably the past 10 years, I would say, you were a big proponent in understanding what that meant, or at least coming to terms with recognizing the necessity behind it. It was an interesting reflection on myself when I recognized why it was such an imperative thing, why I felt it, why it made sense that it was such an important perspective to have. And I think a lot of the relationships that I've had since I've been out here, I've worked diligently to create that. The people that I meet, my effort in conversation, in interactions with them seems now to be to leave them better than when I found them. If I can, if nothing else, I don't want to contribute to what could be their internal dialogue, conflict. If I can bring them out of that, I try. But not just in people, but in everything else now. And I've been grateful for that, because that is something that, if I look back, you are the person who had introduced that concept to me. And it was something that I thought was very useful in the ventures that I had taken on since I've been out here. On my own, learning how to thrive, the best practice is to leave people better.
You're asking for a self-retreat, but you're returning in gratitude of a thank you. So it's always, that portion of it extends the gratitude portion of it, thinking outwardly.
Yep. moving on to marriage and partnership. How have you two evolved as individuals while growing together in your marriage?
Interesting. Well, he's alive, so that's good. I could have killed him 20 billion times over. So that's good. I evolved in not wanting to hurt the man. No. Well, I mean, truly 30 years, 30 plus years. So, you know, it takes a lot, and not a lot of people do 30 plus years now. When you go out there, it's hard to find, you know, people who have lasted that long.
Yes.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
Unless they're older. Then they're like 50 years.
Yeah.
Then I laugh because I think, oh wow, here I'm thinking 30 years, yes. And they're like, yeah, we've been married 50 or 60 years. You're like, oof, this has got a long way to go. I mean, you first get with a human, you get with somebody, you know, it's all wonderful. Then the layers start to peel, the real person starts to come out because you're cohabitating.
Yeah.
People don't get that two people get together. It's not like, oh, magically you're together. It's now you're two individuals that really are together, and the quirks start coming out. And it's a matter of, do you put up with it? Do you not put up with it? You know, do you get through it? Is the good better and outweighs the bad? As you were raised, obviously, by us, you know, it's not always the best. We haven't always had the best situation. But here we are today. So, you know, and there's always going to be a compromise. One might compromise more than the other at a certain time, et cetera, et cetera. Again, it's just, you go with the ebb and flows. And so, for me personally, it's personal growth.
Yes.
Personal growth that allowed, I can only speak for myself, it's personal growth that allowed me to continue where I'm at today in the relationship, because I have to own my own, and my own temperament, and my own personality, and my own whatever. And if I choose to continue to be in this situation, I can only do so much if the other person is going to do or not do what they want to do. So it's up to me to handle myself. And I think that's part of my continued growth, because I have my own baggage. But I'm one of those that's pretty open about stuff, even though I don't talk a lot about stuff. I don't mind, I'm open. And so, so it's really trying to have fun, try to continue to, but also the hard parts, you know, and so somebody's given up so that the hard parts can work and move forward, and like trying to really settle with myself, my temperament, my mind, my mental state, you know. And over time I find that, I'm kind of getting there, you know, with it being at ease, being more relaxed, being more like, you know, all right, type deal, you know. So
Awesome.
I'm not sure if that answers your question.
No, that does. Thank you. Pops, how have you grown as an individual and as a part of the relationship and marriage?
For me, I utilize a respect for the element of change, knowing that in the event of each layer, it is a change of age, moments in time, and of growth, right? So it's all growth. We're not going backwards, going forward. And some life is not easy. Relationships are not easy. Kids are not easy. You know, jobs are not easy. Everything has a challenge, and you have to respect the challenge. You have to respect the element, and you do your best to adjust to each period in time in a positive way. You know, a positive motion. So it's not to take away from. That it's difficult, but there's rewards as well. So you look at the rewards, not necessarily the bad things. It all happens. There's good and bad with everything you do, but you make the best of what you did. So, but the love never changes. The love always grows. But there are there are challenges, and you have to understand it's not easy. Okay? You have to have tough conversations, you have to have tough situations, and you have to conquer what it is. And is the grass always greener on the outside? You still have to cultivate. Regardless.
Yep.
So our choice was here.
Yeah.
The cultivation is here, and we make it grow. We make it work. Good, bad, and indifference. More good than bad. And so you got to look at it. It's there's way more good than there is bad, and you just go with it.
If I may give a little advice.
Yes. Wow. Oh yeah. We'll get please. We'll get to it.
That
Yes.
In the end, I always say, having gone through what I've gone through, know that things do change. People go in and say, "Oh, love," but love evolves in it. It's not always that same feel.
I see.
It always changes. It's not that fresh first
That
start.
same love,
It changes. It evolves. But always be honest. Always be honest and upfront. It doesn't matter. To me, the most important is trust. If you're going to have a relationship with another human being, that's the most important, whether it be a marriage, a friendship, whatever. Trust is the most important. So always go in knowing that you should just be upfront, whether they like it or not. That person will always know, you will always be upfront with them. So it doesn't matter. So trust to me is the most important. And that's what I use as an advice.
So actually going into that then, what do you believe is the most overlooked ingredient in a lasting marriage?
Trust.
Trust.
100%. I think people feel that sometimes when things go bad, or when one person in the relationship feels like maybe it's not going well, the grass is greener on the other side, or not to be tempted with the grass is greener on the other side, or whatever the problems are. If you don't communicate those problems with your partner, that becomes a bigger problem. So like when you start to feel a certain way, or if you feel, communication is key. You got to communicate those emotions so that that person is aware. Trust, I'm telling you, to me, that's the most important. That can make or break. And at that point, it depends on that individual whether they choose to stay and continue. After you've had children, you decide, do we leave, do we not leave, because there's a lack of trust. So I will always say trust is the most important in a relationship. Communication and trust. Because if you don't have trust, you got nothing else. What's the point?
No, that's right.
Because a person can tell you something that you might not like. But at least you know that person told you. And you'll never feel like, well, they'll never tell me anything, right? You at least know that person will always tell you that, whether you like it or not. That's you can hold on to that. So to me, that's the most important.
Can bank on
love can be all day. But if you don't have trust, how's love going to repair that lack of trust? That's all I'm saying. So trust to me is one of the most important ingredients in a relationship of any kind.
And I'm the worst at it. Communication.
Communication seems to be, and I will say that trust, I feel, comes with communication. Maybe those are things that fall hand in hand in some way, shape, or form because of what they are.
Right.
But thank you for sharing. That's big. Parenting and legacy. What's one parenting moment you'll never forget, and what did it teach you? Deep thoughts here.
Well, when you have 3 kids,
no, I understand.
Not a one parenting moment.
No, I know.
There's a few parenting moments.
Well, here, let's do one for each of us. One for each of the 3.
Wow. Well, there's many for each, but for me, like off the top of my head, I can remember when you called us, because we always said, no matter what, if you're in a situation, I don't care what it is, you call, and you did call. You did call, and we had to come get you from a situation. So that was good that you took that and called when you needed that. Kind of hard with your sister, because there was a moment that the parenting was tough with her at a teen age. because I was traveling singing. Wasn't there when there were times that I needed to be there because she was given a little more freedom than she should have with regards to that age group. But I remember one of the toughest times I had with her is because of a boy, and that she was going to leave the house. Oh, it was very tough, very tough. But she didn't. We communicated, and what have you, and you know. And Michael, well, geez, it's kind of tough with him because, you know, that boy decided I'm going religion in high school, and later to find out it's because, you know, he had challenges he was going to be facing, and he chose to go that route. So with him, actually, which is funny, he was more needing in help of a lot of things, whereas Taylor was very independent. You were very independent. You guys, I wanted to help her, and she's like, I got this, I can do it. Whereas him, I'm like, no, you got to learn on your own and do. And he did. He eventually did start, and then, you know, he was kind of always into building things and doing things. Yeah, with him, it's kind of tough. I don't think I can even recall a major disciplinary situation with him.
What about
right?
something that was beneficial or something that wasn't so disciplinary, but was a contributing factor to your experience?
I mean, just watching him as a young man, you know, communicate to people when he chose to go to church and go to Bible study. Just watching him that as a young man, making that decision and the reason he made that decision. You know, again, poor parenting skills, but I believe, again, each child also has their own temperament. His temperament was different than Taylor's, is different than yours.
Yeah.
You guys were more adventurous, more curious, more out. He was more cautious. He would sit back and say, let me see. Yeah. If they survive, then I'll do it. If they don't survive, then I'm not doing it. I'm not done. So he was more cautious. You guys were more, and again, to me, it's not a bad or good thing. It's that's your temperament. That's how you guys ended up becoming who you are and growing and trying. Yep. Whereas he was more cautionary, and that's how he goes.
Pops, do you have?
Just on hers.
If you want to go backwards from Mac up to me.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, well, no. When I look at it, I mean, I'm the youngest. Mikey's the youngest. So
And I'm the oldest.
Right,
Yeah.
but my brothers and sisters paved the way, the right and wrong way that I visually saw,
point of
which
view.
Mikey would see. Path you went down, path that Taylor went down, and now it's his. You know, so we kind of we learn by, you know, family upbringing kind of thing. It's not by family upbringing, but by siblings. What is my siblings doing right, and what are they doing wrong? And I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You have choices, obviously, and you have paths, but your choices, you know, are where it takes you. You know, sometimes as a parent, you have to sit back and say, okay, go ahead. I you know, that was the struggle with Taylor of, well, I'm 18.
Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Okay. How about it? You know, good luck with that. You know, but you still have. I'm here to struggle. I'm here to struggle with you.
Yeah.
We're here to capture on the fall. We'll always be your parent. I don't care how old you are. We're gonna look at. You know, you're still our babies.
Yep.
You know, even though you're adults. And but parenting
That is a different perspective, though. It's interesting because I'm the oldest, and he's the youngest.
Yeah.
I had the most discipline. He had the least amount of discipline.
Yeah.
But he got to see a perspective as the younger, seeing, whereas I was the oldest and had to go through the trials. And like you're the oldest, you had to go through the trials, and then you look down, and that is an interesting, different perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because if I look at my siblings, you know, Steve being the oldest, you know, so then down the road. Yeah. So I do see different characteristics as being in that. You know?
Yeah.
So the fact that you listened to us and said, "Hey, call us," good. We also did a capture with Taylor once or twice, where you know, "Hey, give us a call. I'm there." Yeah. You know, where Mikey didn't really have that, but he just maneuvered different ways.
Yeah.
So he still needed guidance.
In a different way,
In a different way, more life structure events that he didn't, you know.
Yeah.
He was more cautious.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Okay. How has becoming grandparent shifted your perspective on what matters most in life?
No shift. No shift. But if you're talking about kids versus grandkids, my perspective of why grandbabies are why are you doing this for them or being that way with them versus the way you are with us? Because you're my child. I had to put the blood, sweat, and tears to make you what you are today, where I don't have to do that. I can just give all the love. You can't tell me what to do as a grandparent, and I can just let me give love. I don't have when I give them back to you. You now have to worry about their friends, what they're doing in school, where they're at when they're not in your eyesight, and stuff like that. Because I'm spending when they're with us, when the grandbabies are with us, they're 100% with us.
Right.
So I'm holding the hands. We're going where you want to go. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same but different. I can give all the love without having to worry about all of the pressure of parenting.
I mean, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth regarding that because it is that way. But what I want to clarify, being a grandparent, is people think, oh, you love the grandkids more, right? There's that whole thing. Grandparents love the grandkids more.
Kids get spoiled with the grandparents.
Correct. And they think they love them more, but that's not what it is. And as a mom, and have raised kids, and being a grandma, what it really is a reignitement of the feels that you had for your children in the grandchildren. You almost go, oh, it's when you were little and I got to hold you. You can't hold the kids now. You're adult kids like that. They're different. Now they're, it's different feel. So what it is it's a reignited love again for your children in their children. So that's what it really is. And then it's the fact that, like he was saying, we as parents, you're busy, you're working, taking to school, doing this, doing all that. You don't get the time to really love and enjoy. It's brief because you're going through your own mental stuff. So when you're grandparents, you learn from those mistakes. You feel you change those mistakes. You can do differently with the grandkids because you learn from your kids.
Right.
And so that's what I want people to understand is that we don't love our grandkids more. We just reignite that love that we had for our children when they were young, when they were adorable, when we could give them that, because then you as kids become teenagers, then you become adults, and you have your own changes and growth. And so we just go, oh, you're gone now. So the grandkids just reignite that love.
Dare I use the term redemptive, but I maybe not so much in it, and because I don't want it to sound...
Like a redemption?
Well, right, because then that makes it puts it...
No, it's not
the
redemption.
distractions are removed. All of the distractions, what she was saying, the schooling, the friends, the disciplines.
It's nostalgic in a sense, without the barriers that you had expressed in the beginning.
Correct. Like we get to enjoy the grandkids without having to worry about school, this, that, go to work, come back. I only have a little time. We got dinner and then you got to go to bed. So there's not a lot of time. We get to not have to worry about that.
Right.
So then we get to truly, freely, all the love that we have for our kids are now reignited and shown to the grandkids, but we're able to do more because we don't have the responsibilities that the parents had. That's the difference and people think, oh, it's more love. No, it isn't. It's not more. It's that love that we have for our children, for our grandchildren.
It only seems like it's more because
we have more time with them.
It's more isolated. That's a fair perspective.
Right?
I think.
We can't spoil you when you're our kids because we don't have the money to spoil
that's
you. We're not rich,
right.
And we have to discipline, and we have to work, and we have to do dishes, and we have to go to bed. With the grandkids, we don't have to do all. We do that, but we don't have a job or responsibilities or this. So so it really truly is just igniting that love. We've always had love for our children, but I get to cuddle with the 2-year-old. They want to cuddle with me, so I get. And then think about it. It's Julian, let's say, right? I hug Julian, but I'm also thinking, oh, this is Tay, or oh, this is Bobo when they were little. It reignites that. Young when you were younger, we still have the same love for you guys. It's just, I get to hug more because I can't cuddle with you at 6'2" and grown man, right? So I get to do it with Julian, with the little ones, and think of all that love that I had and have for my children. For me, that's what I feel for my children. And all grandparents will tell you that it's not more. It's just different, but the same.
It's perceived more because of
what we can do.
The access that you have.
Correct.
No, that makes sense. And I think there are a lot of grandparents that are probably grateful to hear that because, and I have not had the child yet to bear it to you, but we have had, my siblings have provided you guys with that. And I had always been curious as to what that perspective would look like. Because, at the end of it, I could look back at, Grandma, I felt like, it definitely felt like I was being spoiled. But looking at it, I guess, from that point of view, I did have more time with her in that regard.
Yes.
She did.
Yeah.
It was very much when I went to go see Grandma, that was who I was going to see, and I spent all the time with her.
It was very specific.
Yes, as much time as I could spend with her.
And if she could have spent more time, she would have. It's just my father wasn't very helpful in that way.
No,
and so, but she would have, believed me, she wanted to always be around,
No, she
and
did.
when she was, right, when he wasn't, she was
Yes,
present. She was there.
Yes,
yeah.
she was. We're going to go to personal growth now. This one's for you.
I'm still trying to grow. I'm only 5
No, that's right. This is for you, Mom.
I'm shrinking.
How does returning to music feel now compared to when you first started?
Well, I love performing, so still that is there. I got on stage and went, yep, this is my home. I love performing to people. But I have to say that my attitude is a little more, can't curse on here probably, but what I'll say is I really don't give a bleep now. I won't put up with people's crap.
Yeah.
I won't put up with an agent if he tries to say, well, she needs to look a certain. I'm not. I am going to be me. I'm not going to go out of my way to appease an agent. And if it doesn't get me anywhere, it doesn't get anywhere. So I guess I'm really now doing it because I love to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do it. And so I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, with the people I want to do it with.
Yeah.
And end of story. So it's more enjoyable now. It was then, but there was a lot of those pressures. You got to look a certain way. You have to. Agents would be like, "You can't wear ponytails." Are you kidding me? I can't wear ponytails. It was really bad that way, and taking the break and coming back.
Yeah.
I'm now I'm direct too. Like I'm nice, but I'm direct with whoever I work with. I say, "This is where I'm at today.
Yeah.
If you like that, great. We can do this. But if not, just let me know because it's no hard feelings." But I'm more upfront about things rather than wait till it upsets me and then go blah blah blah. I just say, here it is, take it or leave it.
Pops, what does soccer? How does playing soccer today differ from your earlier years, and why do you still play it?
Well, it's why I still play it is a reprieve for me.
Okay.
The smell of grass, the camaraderie of the boys, the excitement of scoring a goal, the physicality to keep me in shape or something to do. As far as difference between younger and older, I was way more aggressive. My focus was to go somewhere with it.
Yeah.
And then moved on based on. For me back then, moving on was more contractual versus enjoyment.
I see.
So I moved on to the enjoyment stage of it, and now it's more of lines of, can I play the next game?
Fair.
There's always another game.
Yeah.
So I can, as long as I survive this one, I can go and play the next one without injury, or because the injuries don't take a week to recover. It's more of a month to recover or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So play for fun. Still have the aggression. So it's just it's a feeling. It's good.
It's in his blood.
Yeah.
It's in his
It's
blood.
kind of her singing.
Yeah.
To my playing.
When I met him, 6 days a week he was playing. 5. He was playing a lot.
Yeah.
And that was what I really was like, oh, you play soccer. And being from Italy, I was like, oh. And he played a lot.
And so I brought something up to you the other day about it, and I don't know if she. Now, have you recognized the fact that there's times when I'll say, no, I'm not going to play?
Oh yeah, that's recent, which is weird. I'm like, oh, okay. It's not what?
What has that been like? Where
It's
you've had
strange. I'm
these
like, don't you
things
need
that
to
have
go
been
to
so
play
Don't you need to
consistent,
go?
yeah, in
Don't
your
you need to go? Don't you have
You're
soccer?
like, don't you have soccer to go to? And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh. You can start seeing the change of like, oh, we are getting there. Like when I come back and I'm like, my neck hurts from rocking and rolling. Geez, what's going on? We need some Ben Gay. You know, that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah.
My physical on the stage and his physical on the field is now, we're like, why is my shoulder hurt? Well, you were doing this on stage. Oh, dang, that's right. I was doing the tambourine. Really? That's what's hurting me?
What have you guys found as what opportunities have you guys found as of late in helping or being present for those moments when it seems like we're stepping out of what used to be old habits? What are some practices you guys have to meet each other in those moments? If Pop's not going to soccer, how do you guys find yourself spending that time? If Mom, now you're jumping back into singing. I know how he supports that. I was curious what those support systems look like now in this environment.
We then sing karaoke. That's pretty much, we pop up the karaoke because, he does sing.
Yeah.
We do that.
We'll go to the wine wall. We'll grab a bottle of wine.
Yep.
We'll
Sing
enjoy,
karaoke. Good food. We'll make something at home.
Yeah.
That's pretty, or the trailer. The whole point is to get that trailer and just go off and or go, but definitely that's what, at home, that's what we do. We're just or games.
Though the physical experiences that we had are not as
Physical.
prolific or as often, you still find ways of
Doing something else, yeah.
capturing some moments, keeping that and utilizing that time well
Yes.
spent with each other.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to take a break, get
Okay.
a coffee refill, folks. We will be right back to another episode of Breakfast Ad after this break. Welcome to another episode of Breakfast At. I have my parents here that I get to interview today, and we are diving back into creative and professional expression. Pops, what does soccer teach you about being present in your own life? And if you could play another sport, would it be pool?
Oh, stop it.
Would you join me in a league? First question though, let's dive in. What is it about soccer that teaches you about being present?
Being present.
In your own life, yep.
Taught me to keep my head on a swivel.
Okay.
It's always changing. Things are developing. Things are changing, and you always have to be present and recognize change.
Yep.
And be ready for adapting and where you need to go, and to know that it's not consistent all the time. You just need to adapt.
I see.
So
Yep.
adapt. Head on a swivel. Know that it's coming.
And would you ever pick up pool as a sport? Would you ever get in the league? You're actually really good. You actually can play.
You might have found a replacement for when his soccer legs can't.
I'm just saying. When did you ever first get behind the cue and play? Do you remember?
As a kid,
Okay.
You see stuff. There's I mean, pool. You got snooker. You got
Yes,
You know,
which most
different-
people don't know about snooker.
There's
Which is kind of funny.
stuff that's out there,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But like, something about vision and you know.
Okay, let's just be honest. You're just good at pretty much anything to do with sports, like anything. And I'm very competitive, and this guy here, let me tell you, the broom ball.
What was
when
it?
I met him, broom ball.
What was the comment that he
was the
made?
first
though?
time, and I was like, what is
The comment I made last night?
Yeah, what did it
If
say?
it has to do with balls, I'm good at it.
True, he did say that.
It was great.
But it was like he's very good at picking up something new, and I'm athletic too. But dang, when he does it, I'm like, I don't want to play now because this guy is just going to pick it up like that. So yeah, he's very good at picking up any type of physical
Broom
sport.
ball. I can't believe you
Broom ball.
brought
He
up broom ball.
invited me out on a date.
Yeah.
And I watched, and they played on the ice.
Yeah.
Broom ball with a
Tennis
wow.
shoes.
Tennis
wow.
shoes on the ice, and
What?
he's like, "Come on!" And I was like,
Oh,
"No,
God.
no, I'm not doing that because I can
That
see
has
myself
been crazy.
slipping,
Yeah, no,
falling."
that's
I don't know if that's a thing anymore because of,
I don't think I've heard it since that first
I
time.
have not heard, at least out here. People ice fish out here. I don't think they broom ball.
no. So you go to a hockey rink
Yeah,
and you put up the hockey goals.
Yeah.
And you throw out a ball. Everybody has a small broom,
Yeah.
and you're just
literally broom ball.
running
That's right.
and sliding and
Yeah.
slipping, falling. You know,
That sounds
popping
like
your
fun.
head on the ground or elbow or whatever.
No, it was
is,
not.
but
I
it's-
was like, no, I'll stay right here and watch you guys.
Mom,
Yes.
do you see singing as an act of healing? And if so, what is it like balancing that between yourself and others?
As an act of healing,
Yes.
do I see it as an act of healing? Oh yeah, absolutely. And it also depends on the song that I'm singing. Because there are some songs that I'll sing that I physically, as I'm singing, I'm physically feeling the song.
Yeah.
And performing. So it's not even just the act of singing the song, but performing and seeing the reaction from people to me. That is healing.
Yeah.
From a lot of things, because when I was growing up, I was a very insecure young woman. I mean, I was called the ugly duckling. So, you know, that just in itself, getting accolades from people, that helps a lot to be more secure. But now, over time, I'm already secure with myself in that now when I'm singing, I'm very well aware of, especially women. When I sing, I'm not that girl that sings to dudes and, more, I sing to the women.
Yeah.
The guys are with the women, and I look at the woman.
Yeah.
And I have fun with everybody. But when I see women enjoying what I do, then I really even more feel good about it, because that's the goal to me, is that when I see them out there having fun. But it is healing for me, like he is for soccer. For him, singing is for me. It's what I love.
Yeah.
When I'm on stage, it's like just a whole different person. I'm up there doing my thing.
Yeah.
Like so I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, of course it did.
But it did. It is healing for me.
And interesting enough, there's times that she's sang, that I've seen her sing a song
Yeah.
that she sang many times that actually has emotionally grabbed her in a moment.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, choke up, and I'm like, oh, you got to get that word out. It's stuck in the middle of a song up on stage. But yeah,
Work and balance. How did you both manage your careers while raising a family, and what would you do differently if you could?
well, he worked day and I was working nights, which is crazy, right, for singing.
Yeah.
And I remember I've had to do Christmas with you guys and then go and sing. I guess the one thing I would do different is I wouldn't have traveled. I would not have traveled, especially during that time of the teen years.
Yeah.
I would have stayed home and not accepted any travel, because I think me traveling took away from being aware and keeping an eye. People say, oh, when they're little, they're harder, and then as they get older, they're easier. No, it's each stage is a child still needs you, no matter what.
Right.
And so I would not have traveled. That would be the thing I would say. I would have not traveled until later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clap.
More often than not, I was probably not present, where I chose work at times when I should have chose family. But the reason for that was finances, keeping a roof over the head, keeping food on the table is my thought where mom would be there, or I don't know, just where there are times when I think back, maybe I should have separated and said, hey, I need to go home, or I need to be with the family at times or something. Then I chose, well, I got to be at work because I have to make the almighty dollar. We have to survive. So that was that. If there's a way that I could have done that and still done, in my mind, I would have changed that.
Thank you.
It's a tough balance.
It is. What does retirement mean to you now, and how has your definition of work changed?
Well, he's not retired.
Well, I'm not retired.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he's still working.
So, good question. I'm 60.
Okay.
The retirement age, you get to pick your own retirement age when you feel that you're financially secure, that you can, you're ready to go. I've always told myself, I don't want to say a young age, but probably somewhere in my late 40s or 50s, I told myself, you know what, I think I need to work, or I'm going to work till I'm 70. Part of that is that when I was growing up, the age of retirement was, they focused on 65. Was when you'll get, your Social Security or whatever. But in my line of work, I've recognized that there's people that leave early and some leave later. And a lot of times they're not prepared. I've told myself I'm going to work till I'm 70. Now that I'm 60, there is times when I think I'd like to retire, but I know I'm not going to. I like what I do.
Yeah.
The relationships, the connections I get, and I don't have to work as hard as I did when I was younger, just because I have the repeat residual business of clientele, customers that I've had. So it's a little bit more rewarding. But I don't know if I'll make it to 70. I mean, work-wise.
Okay. I was like, you're doing pretty well for yourself. What do you mean? It's crazy.
But that's regardless of what they say is retirement. I want to make sure that we're good at that time. Yeah. And is it set? And nobody knows what that is. I don't know if anybody really knows what that is. But if you're, if you have put processes in place, it will probably tell you the time. If you haven't put those things in place, it could be a struggle. Yeah. So that's why I got to get. So I have to get over the struggle of is it time or not time. But I've already set the goal of 70. And I think I'll be able to move just fine at 70 and be able to enjoy retirement and still be mobile, functioning, that's me.
I mean, he has the benefit of loving his job, though.
Yes.
Like, he loves what he does.
Yeah.
It can be frustrating, but he even loves that part. And the thing about it, as he said, from then to now, he can work abroad. Like, we're here and he's working. Yeah. So our talk is, which we got the trailer, is to ultimately be able to travel while he still can work, but be able to start retirement. Like,
take my foot off the gas.
I literally quit corporate because it was affecting me physically, just bad. Because I am a worker bee. I am a worker. I'm the type they take advantage of, and I was done with that. Fortunately, I was able to be done with that. I did work smaller companies, so fortunately, he's always been able to make it for us as a family, and I've worked on and off throughout, from singing to corporate, what have you. Yep. But now it's weird how the timing comes that, now singing's come in and I'm making money with singing, supplemental income. So that works too, but ultimately, I would like to go. I'd like to be able to travel.
Yeah.
So retirement ideally would be, I'm not retired in that I still take care of the house though.
Yeah.
And I take help with the grandkids, and so he might do the physical calling and paying the bills, but I do the taking care of it. We go on trips, I'm the one that's handling all of that stuff.
Right.
So I'm still working because I'm doing the house stuff. Who else would do it, right? Meaning it's a job.
Yeah.
So when I worked full time, I still was helping I was doing the house stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not really retirement because I'm still working at home doing stuff. But to be able to sing, now we get to travel.
Yeah.
He's coming with me. So we're getting to test that he comes with me.
Yeah.
He's my roadie.
Yeah.
And we go, and he gets to work at Laughlin in California, and I'm like, look at us. We're literally, he's the driver, he's my
Chauffeur.
But that's
Driving
the
Miss
thing is,
Daisy.
this got to show us that he can work from anywhere.
Yeah.
And we're laughing because we're like, wow, we're leaving again because I'm singing down in California, I'm singing in Laughlin. I'm like, look at us, man, just taking off, you know.
So not so much retirement, but the way that work has changed is it's become more mobile. It's allowed more flexibility in him being able to support the things that you're doing in exploring and being able to explore and venture around without being tied to a location or a office space. On the occasion, I imagine you have to.
Yeah.
But you're not as focused. It's not as much of a rock, a dedicate. You're not attached to it by the hip.
Yeah. For me in my business, I've always been able to be mobile for the most part. Like if I'm not outside of the office, I don't feel unsuccessful. Right. But now, I mean, I spend more time at home than I do outside in a clientele or whatever. But the pandemic really showed us that we can pull ourselves away from the office and still be successful.
Right.
And that's not in all careers. By any means.
Sure. Yeah.
But mine just happened to fall into that. But I'm still in a really volatile, industry.
Yeah.
Even clothes, like stuff like that. So
Always been like that.
Yeah.
Always.
But when it's good, when it's good, we don't change what we do.
Yeah.
Just because I make X times doesn't mean I go spend the X times. I stay, where it needs to be.
Below the means.
But this does give us a practice of retirement, like what it might look like as we go, because of the traveling now with my music. It kind of gives us an idea, like, oh, okay, we can travel, we can do more, like go away. And I have it all hooked up with our jetpack and everything. Like I was like, I got you already. We can go. So it's kind of slowly looking like.
You just have to be careful, and you watch what you make, and you don't do anything just because I make double the income today. I don't spend it today. Let's wait 6 months, a year, and pocket it just to see, and then we can.
So, going into travel and exploration, what's one place you've each dreamed of seeing, and what story or connection pulls you there?
So, we've talked about it quite a bit as far as travel-wise. If we're talking outside of the United States, both of us would like to go see. I would like to go see where Mom grew up. So, taking us to Italy, and then on the way back, we bounce into England, where I spent a season. And then there's so much to see here in the States. Do I really need to go to Sydney? Do I need to go to Mexico City, or where are they desires? Yes, but they're not drawing me. It's not a draw. So that's.
I mean, mine would definitely be going back to Naples for just to be able to see my friends, to just be able to go back one time since I've not gone back. Outside of that, though, it would be really just road trip to anywhere in the U.S., but to be out road tripping for the feel of nature. That would be.
If you could take one road trip together right now, where would you go and what are the essentials?
A road trip.
Right now, where would you go and what would you take with you? What would be the essentials of that trip?
Well, personally, I would say
Toothbrush and a change of underwear.
Simple.
personally, I would say
Yep.
to come see you. Like that would have been my road. That would be my road trip.
But
to
you're
come
already
to a
here.
farm. Well, I would want to go to a farm. Like I would want to go somewhere where it's out, it's farmland.
Yep.
I would want to have a bike because I would
Okay.
want to bike.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go where I can put my feet on the grass, not dirt. You know, grass, trees, a river, a trailer. That would be it. That's where I'd want to go.
Cave dwelling.
Not spelunking, no. I mean, I would love to, but my
Oh, hey, we're in
Baby
North
steps.
Dakota. We've already decided South Dakota. We've already said monument,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, that was a bucket list. Okay,
Yeah.
that's something that's out
that-
there. That's
Step by step.
But for your question is
Yes.
to go now, I'd want to take like my trailer and go somewhere where we can just open it up,
Yeah.
sit down, listen to the water. That would be my desire.
Yeah.
I'd be packing up right now, go somewhere where I can listen to the water, you know, relax, but be part with nature, be one with nature, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's where I would go. 100.
Reflections and lessons. We're on the final stretch. What's something you learned from each other that surprised you?
I learned from you. About her, about myself.
Either or. What was more significant? Let's go with yourself. What is something that you surprised that you learned about yourself from the other person?
The loving and caring for her. But I'm saying, I want to go the other direction.
Okay.
I want to go the other. I don't want to use my reflection. Is like that's hard to do. Reflection on myself. That's
Yes, it is.
that's. But the loving and caringness that she looks at that I don't recognize
Right.
often enough. Where she's always on it as far as people's emotions or how they act or how you should act. As far as reflection for me, it's more of teaching. Teaching me how to be more like that, or I've always been patient with her. I recognize that more as recognizing, I grew up one way, she grew up another way. So I have to be patient because I never walked in her, her shoes, because she did 27 years prior to me being there. So I have to, and that's, the mind and the body never forgets from day one you're born of things, events that happen to you. So I have to respect events and things that I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to understand it, or be patient, reflect, and understand. I didn't walk in her shoes, so trying to understand that would be more my reflection.
Okay. What about you?
I don't know if it's a surprise, but what I've learned from him, believe it or not, again, because of being raised so confined and restricted, I learned from him to be more open, not as restrictive, like the playing with the kids in the couch in the living room when you're not even supposed to be in the living room because it's supposed to be a no-touch zone,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
things like that, where that I've learned to be more relaxed about certain things, whether it looked like I was relaxed or not, I don't know, but I felt, a lot of fears, height, going, skiing,
Yeah.
doing things,
Yeah.
outdoor stuff. I learned that from him. So I don't know that it was a surprise to learn, but I did.
Surprise for yourself, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, well, getting over heights, getting over doing stuff, I probably wouldn't. No, I wouldn't have. I learned going in and opening up more and expanding more about things, about ideas, about thoughts. Where I was just very, I'm very, and I'm also a very deep person. Like I'm in deep, detailed, like I'm looking in my feels, what have you. But to be able to just try to relax a little more and learn to not be afraid of certain things and not be so restrictive about things, that I would say I learned from him.
What's the hardest thing you had to overcome as an individual, and how did it shape your bond? What's the hardest thing you had to overcome as an individual?
Selfishness.
And how did it shape your bond between each other?
Just understand this selfishness, because you're a human, you're a person. But yet, marriage brings an additional appendage that you're not normally, you don't. It's not the first thought; it's the second thought. I guess I don't know how to explain that, but and that's where the respect, the communication of knowing that there's not. I'm thinking of not just one but two, so I have to park the selfish and that thought process that jumps first into pause it for a second, be a more collective about the thoughts before moving.
Ask it again.
What's the hardest thing you had to overcome as an individual? And how did it shape the bond between you guys?
My past.
Okay.
My past is what mainly for me, the stuff I've gone through, that is what I had to overcome in order for me to move forward in this relationship. So that would be my past.
Wisdom for the next generation. Now, I know that you had expressed a great deal of interest in sharing your story with women who are either coming to terms with being parent, being mom, or having had either similar or traumatic experiences in their lives and how they overcome those things. Pops, you are and have been a great mentor in my life and have planted many seeds in me that have thrived and been cultivated today for me, that have helped me move forward. What would you say to any of the parents out there trying to make sense of it? Being here, being a parent, being an individual as a parent, being a young parent, or just the development or process of parenthood in general?
For me, I would say for the kids, I would say be more open about life or experiences that one has had, or to help develop. Because all I'm doing, the more information I give you, which I've learned much later in life, is to knowledge is power. So if I give you the knowledge of stuff at a young age, it's already built in, and you learn from your experiences. I've laid a foundation here instead of here. So the foundation here, your next generation, you're going to start here and bring it to here. So it just grows just by sharing instead of, well, I'm not going to share you what Mom and I are doing, but whether it's financial, emotional experiences, just you have to share at a young age to let them understand and know that to do this. And I just think how it brings it up, just levels up the kids.
No.
What I'm going to say to this generation and to all generations. I don't care. The discipline and what have you. My bottom line is, you're a parent, you're not a friend. You can be friendly with your kids, but I think every child is born needing to learn, right? We have to guide them. You cannot, and I'm saying this because I think this generation now, they are like, because of what's happened before, they feel like, oh, I'm going to let them do their thing, and I don't want to be too hard on them, and I'm worried about offending them and what have you. But then you are raising a little child that now has no guidelines, has no understanding what's right, what's wrong, and I think there's a way to do it without. You could just still be guiding them, but you have to do it young. You cannot wait till, it's a problem. Now they're getting lippy at me. Well, because you kind of allowed it. They're testing. Kids test. That's their job. So I say, as a parent, you can be friendly with your child, but you must always distinguish respect. You're a parent, they're the child. Never let that blur the lines.
Right.
You can have fun, but the minute a child starts to be a little disrespectful, you got to put your foot down and say, I'm your parent. You don't speak to me like that, because that teaches them how to be with other humans. The whole point is, we're humans trying to teach humans how to react and interact with other humans, right? Like, we share the world. How will they know how to act? If they come in here in the restaurant and they get to act like that at home at the restaurant, you're not going to be able to take them out.
Right.
I was able to take you guys anywhere, because they would be like, now you guys could be at home, what have you, but you knew how to act around other people, because the guidance, the whole point is we have to guide our kids. We have to teach them. They don't know on their own. And again, I'm not talking, correct, and I'm not talking, you got to I get the whole harsh, but there is discipline without being ugly discipline, and you must discipline with kindness, not reactionary. That's a lot of problems too. A lot of parents today, I think, have a lot going on. They're doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, and so the poor children are left on their own accord. We got to get back to being parents that care about the kids. So discipline them, but discipline them in the right way. Don't discipline out of anger. Don't do that either. No. So we need to still guide them. You still need to be a guide to your child.
Have to be some form of overarching disciplinary figure, so that there isn't a loss of social, I don't want to say social conformity, but some form of
how to,
etiquette.
It would be etiquette, and always, which I never got to do with my parents, but even with you guys, I wish I was more open. I was very like, we don't talk about that topic, we don't talk. My sister, the other hand, she is open about everything, right? So I like that in between. I do think the parents should also allow for that door to be open for communication, because you want that child to come to you no matter what about anything. So again, it goes down to trust. You want them to trust you. Always communicate and trust. So that would be my
last and final two questions. Joy and presence. What is the thing right now that brings you joy?
Family.
Okay. Doesn't have to be a long answer. The thing right now that brings you joy, that you can identify, that you know brings you joy right now.
It's being able to be a grandparent and do the things that I wasn't able to do, with my kids. That brings me joy.
I will say I look forward to the amazing interaction that my future child gets to have with you guys when that day comes, because I imagine it will be quite the exciting opportunity to see.
Do you have something to share with us?
No.
Okay.
No, not yet. No. How do you each define a life well lived?
Life well lived is going beyond the boundaries, but putting your boundaries in check. Know what your limits are. Know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and try to grow within your space. That's about where I can put it.
I think a life well lived is have you choose, as long as you, as I've said to you before, as long as you can pay your bills, I don't care how small or how big, but as long as you can support yourself, live the life you want to live. That's a life well lived. If you get to live the life you want to, however way that means, and as long as you're not having to, as long as you can do it on your own, I don't care. It doesn't. You can be a painter, you could be a singer, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer. I think a life well lived is somebody who gets to enjoy and do what they really want to do and be happy, as best they can. That's to me a life well lived.
If I can at least elaborate on it, I want you both to know that you have given a great deal of that insight to me. And in my growth of self, recognizing that that is the thing and that is the truth, and what you guys have always guided me towards, I am grateful to at least share that I feel like I have been in that direction as of late and have been able to pursue the things that I have enjoyed and the ability to sustain myself while doing it. I don't do this for any other reason other than being able to connect with people, and I think that the things that I have had the opportunity to experience with you guys, the people I've been able to meet, the environments I've been able to be a part of, and just the experiences alone have, I will say, set me up for success I didn't even recognize until I came to understand who I was and where I wanted to be. So a lot of the premise of deepening the human connection, one meal and conversation at a time, has come from you guys. So it's an honor to be able to say that aloud and say that in front of you and share this with you guys, because I, again, for a while didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't know where I wanted to be. And it is with great resolve that I can say I think I found that calling. And
I would like to say I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Well,
I'm glad that
we are
I'm here.
very proud.
I'm glad that I'm here and we finally come out to hang out with you. I miss you so much.
I know, and I miss you guys.
So
and your guys' time here has definitely shown that, it is, the feeling is mutual. And I'm grateful, if nothing else, that I've come to appreciate the time away to allow me to appreciate the time spent with you guys and in the presence. It has been an honor to have you guys here. I'm so stoked that we got to make this happen. Bobby, thank you, sir, for always being present in this circumstance. I got a shout out to that dude because he's been a prolific part of a lot of what's been going on here. Again, we continue to dive in and deepen the human connection one meal at a time through efforts of self-reflection and development. And the closer I get to developing of self, the further I find I get to dive into relationships with people that I have wanted with nothing else than to just recultivate and just re-find myself in those relationships that I used to have with my parents and other people that I've grown up with. So, as always, that is the effort. Thank you guys for joining us, and catch you in the next episode of Breakfast At. Thank you.